bleed out on whatever I'm sitting on. TMI, but like that's the reality of postpartum. I had a second-degree tear both times. Not my favorite. Postpartum is wild, y'all. Oh my goodness. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah. I am a second-time mom. I just had my second baby. I'm officially 3 weeks postpartum, so I finally feel normal-ish. A lot of the like postpartum stuff starts to go away or like rapidly decline, so it's like a good milestone in my opinion for postpartum. So I thought I would talk about my postpartum experience this time. My son's asleep over here in the bassinet if you hear baby. Alright, I thought I would talk about my favorite postpartum products, things that I really liked using. Like I said, this is my second baby, so I've been through this twice now. And just some like advice about your postpartum experience and things that may help or make things easier for you. Part of the postpartum recovery, whether you have a C-section or vaginal delivery, is you're going to bleed a lot. There's just a lot that's coming out in the next couple weeks that you're going to want to wear like a pad or a diaper for. And this is the mesh underwear people are talking about that the hospital gives you. It literally is just like a piece of mesh that you can wear. And it's not a bad option. It's just not my favorite option. So you would put a pad in this and pull this on so you can see a little. Like I said, it's not my favorite option, but it is like you can throw it away when you're done. So if you just want to use pads and these, it works perfectly fine. But my preference is to get these adult diapers. They have a lot more coverage. They're a little bit more structured. I just feel like I'm not going to bleed out on whatever I'm sitting on, which I know TMI, but like that's the reality of postpartum. So I really like these. And then just any really big overnight pad. And then one of the hacks that I used overnight, so if you wear the diaper at night and put a pad in it, then you can just take the pad out in the middle of the night and then you have the diaper on, so you don't have to like fumble around and put a new pad in. I just felt like that was like an easy hack when you're like really sleep deprived. The other thing that I got that I really liked, this is the first time I bought these. They are these disposable boy short underwear. So they're like more structured. They go like kind of up to your belly button. I felt like wearing the diaper with these, I felt more like a person. Like I just had on like some athletic shorts or something. They're like thick enough that you can't see through them, and then you can just throw them away when you're done. I think the pack has like 8 in it, but I really enjoyed these. I felt like as put together as you can in your postpartum experience. And I just put all of this stuff. I've got this little like caddy. It looks like this. Coda, do you want me to hold you? I think it's from TJ Maxx, but I just had like all my stuff in this, like behind the toilet. So it's just accessible. Let me get my baby. You okay? Yeah, he's fine. The next thing that you can use, so I had a second-degree tear both times. Not my favorite. So one of the things that they give you to like ease discomfort is these witch hazel pads. They're these like little, like almost like wet wipes is what they look like. And you can put them in your underwear, like on top of the pad. And it's just like a cooling sensation. It just helps alleviate some of the pain. I didn't feel like it was the most effective, but it does feel like you're doing something for the pain. And then the other thing that they give you, or that you can buy, is this Dermaplast spray, and it is supposed to be like a pain reliever, so you can spray it after you go to the bathroom. The next thing a lot of people talk about is the peri bottle. Very important postpartum. So a peri bottle is a little water bottle that you fill up when you go to the bathroom, and instead of using toilet paper, you basically rinse off with this. So this is the peri bottle that they give you at the hospital. It's just a regular little bottle. You can fill it up. Very simple. But I bought this peri bottle on Amazon, and what I really liked about it is that it has the angled nozzle. This is fine, but like if you're sitting in the bathroom, like that's not the most effective. So I found this to be a lot better in terms of cleaning and accessibility. So I'll link all of this below if you wanted to look anything up, but I really liked this Perry bottle. You can also put Epsom salt in it as well. I did that with my first. I didn't really do that this time because I had more stitches, so they were a little bit more apprehensive about me using Epsom salt. Really liked this bottle for just water. Warm water specifically. Obviously you can use cold water, but you know, it's not fun to clean yourself with cold water. So make sure you fill it up before you go to the bathroom. And then the last thing that I've actually used a lot this time, I didn't really use it last time, is these perineal ice packs. So they kind of look like a pad. They're disposable and you like pop them and they start like, it makes it cold. I have no idea how it works, but it makes it cold and you can stick it on top of your pad. And so like I said, I had a second degree tear this time and I had some pain. If I was like moving around too much that day, would like hit me, like it would just be painful. So it really helped alleviate that. And it's like the perfect little ice pack. It's nice to have a disposable option, and I just got these on Amazon. So those are kind of all like the product specific things that I loved like for postpartum for me. And then when it comes to nursing, the two things that I've loved both times are nipple cream. So it takes about 3 weeks. I know that's like, seems like forever, but in the grand scheme, if you're breastfeeding for a long time. All right, you get my baby. Come here, snug, snug. It's okay. It's okay. So it takes about 3 weeks for your nipples to basically harden up to breastfeeding. So I kind of think of it like building a callus or something. They have to toughen up. And so that's probably the point where it will stop hurting as much. I know initially with my first, it really hurt in the beginning. And then it was only hurting towards like whenever he latched, it was like, ugh! But it gets so much better. It doesn't hurt at all after that. I breastfed my first for 14 months. And I'd say like the only issue that we had was when he started teething, which is a whole nother story. But that whole time, like it never hurt to latch or like breastfeed. It was like completely pain-free. You have that to look forward to. Because of that, you're gonna wanna get some good nipple cream. A lot of times the hospital have some if you ask. It doesn't take the pain away, but they like can get dry and cracked. And it just helps in between when you're breastfeeding. And also because your nipples are basically, I don't know how to explain this, but they can get stuck to the bra that you're wearing. Kind of like if you have a blister that pops and it sticks to your sock and then you have to take it off and that's like painful. The same thing happens to your boobs. So if you put on some sort of like petroleum, like some cream or something, then it's less likely to stick to the fabric, which is, you don't want it to stick to the fabric, it hurts. I know these are all weird, but these are things that happen. Postpartum is wild, y'all. And then the second thing that I have loved both times, and I've really made use of this time, is my Haka. So I have two, and it is this silicone container. You can suction it to your boob. So when you're breastfeeding on one side, you suction it to the other and it catches the letdown. So I've been able to get at least 6 ounces a day. I only use the Haka once on each side. So I'll use it like in the morning on one side and the afternoon on the other, just at some point during the day. And it's a really great way to build up a stash without having to like get out your pump and use that. And I just always felt more confined or constricted with the pump. And so the Haka is just very easy. It's just one thing. You're not hooked up to a machine. So I really like that. All right, these are a few things that aren't necessarily postpartum recovery, but just things that will help make your postpartum experience better, hopefully, and have really improved my postpartum experience. And they may seem like obvious, but I just wanted to share them anyways in case someone hadn't thought of them. The first thing is getting really good earplugs. So just like set of wax earplugs. I sleep with earplugs every night. I didn't before, but now that I have a squeaker, I sleep with earplugs because newborns make so much noise that isn't distress or crying or that they need you. They just make a lot of noise. So if you have something that can just kind of drown out a lot of that, it really helps. I can still hear him cry with the earplugs in, but they kind of get rid of like that just base level of like noise and kind of blocks that out and makes it much easier to get sleep. And sleep is like the most important thing postpartum. And then the second thing that will help you sleep is to get some sort of eye mask. I didn't have one with my first, but I really like that I got one with my second. I just put the eye mask on to block out any light. So I'll get to that in a second. So it just makes it easier because I don't want to have to turn a light on when he needs something. So there's just kind of like an ambient light at all times in our room. It's still too much light for me to sleep, so the eye mask has made like a huge difference. I feel like I get a lot better sleep with it, so that's probably something that you would want to look into. So the light that I'm talking about, we have this little sound machine. I've used a sound machine with both. I will continue. We love a sound machine, just a white noise machine. And this one has just like a little light on it, so when we turn that on, we have the light on. It just gives the room some like ambient light so I can kind of see. And it also helps, so I don't have to constantly turn a light on, and also I can see his face. So if I'm checking on him or he makes a noise and I want to see if he's awake, I can see if his eyes are open. I don't have to like shine a light in his face. I really like that. So a couple other things that I've made this postpartum experience better. We do have a bassinet beside our bed that he sleeps in. So one of the things that I did this time, which I did not do last time, was try to set up our room to have everything that I need. Part of that is just because we have limited space in this house. So we're in a 2-bedroom. So instead of him having his own nursery, he has his nursery on the other side of our room. So if you haven't seen our nursery tour, watch that. But his nursery is in our room, so everything is obviously close, but I put everything like within arm's reach. So we have his bassinet next to my side of the bed, and in that I have all of his swaddles, sleep sacks, burp cloths, anything that I would need in the middle of the night. I don't have to get up to get. So the other thing that I have set up on our bed is this infant lounger. We use it a lot if we're sitting in the bed, like, and we just want to lay him down. I think it'll become more handy when he starts to roll. Like right now I can just set him on the bed and he's not going to go anywhere, but when he's a little bit more mobile, we'll definitely make sure we put him in this so he doesn't roll off the bed. And then we also we put this on our dining room table a lot and put him in there when we're eating, just so he can like be right there and Big Brother can't mess with him. But my point is, you don't obviously need to buy this infant lounger for this purpose, but that's what I'm using it for at the moment. I have all of the diaper stuff on the bed too, so in the middle of the night if I need to change his diaper, so I have everything. I don't have to get up to do it. And it's not like the biggest deal to get up, but you're tired. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything more than you have to, and try to get them back to sleep as soon as possible. So being able to change him in bed is a must. And it's funny because I really didn't do that with my first. And like I said, I wasn't set up for that. So I really wanted to make sure that we were set up to be able to do that this time. So the first thing that I got, which I didn't even know this was a thing, but it's this washable, it kind of looks like a mattress pad, but without the like side panels. A lot of hospitals have stuff like this, but it's basically just a big mattress protector. So if he pees or poops while I'm changing him, like obviously I can just throw this in the wash. You could use the puppy pee pads. I have those also, but this is a lot more durable and really big. So I've liked using this, and you can just spread it out and then pop his little butt on here and change him in the middle of the night. So that is in there. And then I have his wipes, a couple diapers, a change of clothes, just because you never know if you're gonna have a blowout. And like I said, we're not trying to get out of bed. Pacifier, a couple hats, and then the little snot bulbs or spit bulbs. So I've got almost everything that I could need for him in the middle of the night, and that's really worked for us. And then I obviously have my nursing pillow. I don't always use it. I really like to side lie to feed at night. So if you don't know what that is, that's also really helpful when you're tired. So instead of nursing sitting up, you're basically just laying down on your side, and you just put baby down whatever side you're feeding on. So you can both be laying down, you can be snuggled up under the covers. It's just a really easy, lazy, you gotta do what you gotta do way to feed them and like you can still lay down, which is a lot more comfortable. But I do have, this is the Dr. Brown's nursing pillow. So I do have that, which I use a lot as well. Like we hang out in the bed a lot during the day too. I have that too, just in case I want to use that. So we have a couple of options. Excuse me. Another thing that would help with baby, and I didn't do with my first, or I waited a while to do it with our first, and I wish I would have just done it sooner, is to just give up swaddles and go straight for a sleep sag. So I do love a swaddle. I think they look super cute in them. They stay in them for like a couple days and then they figure out how to wiggle their way out. And it is very annoying, especially in the middle of the night. Re-swaddling, especially a baby that's like fidgeting and isn't sitting still, is really frustrating. And so I like just getting a sleep sack. We use this Halo infant sleep sack and it zips up. The main part's like a little bodysuit and then the outside has a little like Velcro straps that go, straps aren't the right word, but like a big piece of fabric that like straps their arms down so they can't wiggle too much, and it's just a lot easier to do than a swaddle. If you haven't already, I would go ahead and just get like at least one newborn sleep sack, because the swaddles, they don't last as long as you want them to, and it just gets a lot easier when you switch to a sleep sack. And then the last little thing, just like some advice, definitely always have like a water or a Gatorade. I usually have like 2 water bottles on my bedside just in case you need some hydration. Breastfeeding is really taxing and it just takes a lot of, you have to drink a lot of water. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water. And then the last thing, this is kind of like a PSA, I guess. I don't want to share too much online, but I also want to be transparent because I am sharing my life online. And so I just want to tell you, if you're looking for validation or just permission, getting on medication postpartum is not a bad thing. So with my first, I feel like I have a history of anxiety and depression. And with my first, I feel like I had undiagnosed depression during my pregnancy. And it didn't really come to a head until postpartum. I had postpartum rage and postpartum depression, and I really struggled, and it made my postpartum experience that much harder. I was transparent and honest with my doctor, and I got on a prescription around 3 weeks postpartum, so that really helped me. I stayed on that prescription through my postpartum experience, and then when I got pregnant with my second, we agreed that it was best for me to just continue to take it because it would be too much to try to get off medication with all the hormones that your body is starting to create for making another baby. So I have been on it throughout my pregnancy with Coda, and I'm still on it. And what I can tell you now is, looking back on my first postpartum experience, I was so much worse off than I thought I was. And our first was a lot more fussy. He required a lot more effort to console and rock and get him to sleep. But I think I was coming from such a deficit because I was in such a bad place mentally that I didn't have the capacity I needed to put in as much effort as he needed. And so that led to a lot of like overly emotional experiences. I was not to say I was a bad mom, but I wasn't the best that I could have been. And I really regret not getting on something sooner. With Coda, I've been on something the whole time. I still struggle. I do get frustrated, but I just have so much more control over my emotions and my feelings, and I feel so much better. And looking back, I can recognize that I really needed help sooner the first time. Obviously, we made it through, but I just wanted to share my experience so that if you're feeling that way or concerned at all, just talk to your doctor, get on something. It doesn't have to be forever, but you're doing yourself and your child a disservice if you're just like gritting and bearing it. I'm so much happier and healthier and such a better mom on medication than off, and my kids deserve like the best mom I can be. And if that means taking a prescription for a while, then I can definitely do that, and I don't have to feel bad about it at all. If you want more videos like this, or just to see like our life, I try to vlog a couple times a month. So subscribe so you can see our journey. Let me know if you have any questions. I think I'm gonna do one about breastfeeding specifically. So if you have any breastfeeding questions, please leave those in the comments, and I will see you next time.